Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. This is Joe Glass Comics again, and I'm Joe Glass, here to talk to you about some of my comics which I'm absolutely loving at the moment. This time is going to be a bit of a Pride Month special. I'm going to be talking about the release of the collected edition of Barbalien Red Planet from Dark Horse Comics by Tate Brombal, Gabriel Hernandez-Walta, Jordie, Bellaire and Aditya, Bidikar, based of course on the Black Hammer series of superhero universe created by Jeff Lemire. I'll start off by being completely honest, I'm not too familiar with Black Hammer. I've read like a couple of issues, but I'm not deep into the particular sort of world and setting of the Black Hammer books. It is something which is on my reading list to catch up on at some point, but yeah, certainly it's not something which I'm particularly familiar with. But when I heard about Barbalien and what it was going to be about, I knew I had to get it. Barbalien Red Planet is a bit of a prequel story to the character of Barbalien, as I understand it, in that it's set in the 1980s at the height of the AIDS crisis, involving the titular Barbalien, Mark Marks, as he exists and lives in the world, works as a police officer, and is also closetly homosexual in the midst of all of this going on. It's really hard to describe this book without just immediately getting off the cuff and straight off my chest with, it's gorgeous, it's absolutely beautiful, it's absolutely wonderful, it's superb. It's some of the best writing I've seen, and considering this is the debut that I'm aware of, writing debut for Tate Brombal, this is just absolutely astonishing. I was blown away. Obviously the art is gorgeous throughout as well, which we've known to expect from Hernandez-Walta, from his work with numerous high-end projects, and this is no different. The book is absolutely gorgeous throughout. The characters have a sense of depth to them which grounds everything a little bit. Everything just seems a little bit edgy and kind of grounded in a reality, granted not real reality obviously. The story however really heightens that, in that it is very much based on actual events, in the sense of, you know, the AIDS crisis, the way the gay community and the queer community as a whole were sort of stigmatized and put off to one side and ignored at the height of a crisis which was astronomically affecting them more than any other people, and like in such an awful and dreadful way. Red Planet really sort of builds on that, but also creates this story of a character coming into his own identity and realizing what it is that he really needs to fight for. I don't want to spoil anything, but like I say, I will say the story is incredibly powerful. You can expect great emotional gut punches throughout it. I would say that if you've been a fan of shows like Pose or It's a Sin, then this book will absolutely be up your street. Barbalien Red Planet has that same level of strength and emotional core to it, as well as actually having this whole idea of that setting, that AIDS crisis setting, and like the absolute horrors of it, of what everyone went through. As much as I keep on saying like all these awful things, and in terms of like all these bad things happen and it's really sad and gut punchy, it's also incredibly beautiful. It's inspiring in that it includes and creates these brand new characters, including a new superhero drag queen, by the way. About time that other people started doing it, but yeah, let's get more superhero drag queens out there in the form of Night Club, who is, I need more immediately. Like seriously, give me a Night Club series, I need it. And yeah, it's just really beautiful and stark, and I think it's something which is needed and is really important during Pride Month, because as well as celebrating LGBTQ people, we should also remember and understand our LGBTQ history, which is a shared history. As much as those who want to come between our aspects of our communities and maybe want us to try and even disregard and disown whole sections of our community, stories like this remind us that we were all going through the same thing and we all went through it together. And that some of those people, particularly the ones which are being horrifically targeted by people now, are the ones that got us to where we are. Stories like this really highlight that and really show that this is an important thing to always remember. And even though it's a fictionalized version of it, telling the story of a Martian who shapeshifts and also happens to be gay and spends most of the series looking like Luke Skywalker, it's still got that sort of sense of realness to it, which is deeply powerful and deeply moving. It's also just contains gorgeous pages like this spread. I mean, come on, that is just absolute art, and honestly, I'm jealous in a way. I think where Barbalien Red Planet succeeds where a lot of comics fail is in the way it incorporates those powerful themes of a very real life situation into a fictional scenario in a way that highlights the reality as well. And not in a sense of like it would create a mundane out of the fabulous, but rather quite the opposite. It makes you realize that this thing which feels like it could only happen in fiction is something which actually did happen in our world. And I think it's really powerful for that. And like I say, it's really definitely something which I would recommend for everyone read and everyone pick up. So yeah, my first Pride Month recommendation, beyond obviously my own work, is Barbalien Red Planet from Dark Horse. Now you can pick it up in any comic book store, any bookstore really, you probably should have it now, and obviously online. I'll even throw a few links in the description so that you can try and find it and get it for yourself, because like I say, I really recommend this read. I really do think that you'll love it. So yeah, check out Barbalien Red Planet, and feel free to come back here to my channel next time I do a video and check out what else I have to say. Love you all. Happy Pride.